Tonight on News 5 Live, the deputy moves up at the central bank. Prime Minister comments on drug planes, and American Airlines add a Chetumal-Miami route. These stories plus COVID's effect on Chinese community in this week's COVID Chronicles. Up next on News 5 Live.
It's a fact that your credit lasts longer when using Smart. During these times, we're all trying to find ways to cut costs and save the little resources we have. With Smart, it's easy to do that. It's a fact that with Smart, your credit lasts longer. You can call Smart to Smart and Smart to Digi using your promo credit, while with the other guy, you can only call OnNet, Digi, or BTL numbers. What does this mean? You get to call any national number using your promo credit. Your promo credit is free, so that call is also free. Know your facts. Don't be tricked by the other guy. Be smart and save your dollars.
You inch your way to the edge of the board. Once you leap, there's no turning back. Your heart begins to race. You need to make a decision. Are you in or out? Join us for our brand new series where we dive deep into what it looks like to make God our Lord of all or not at all. God doesn't want just the dip of our toes or a wade in the shallows. He wants all of us. We're in or out.
The Social Security Board, in collaboration with the Labor Department, takes this opportunity to remind insured persons of the requirements for compensation when on sick leave. Any employee who has worked with an employer for at least 2 months is entitled to 16 working days of sick leave with full pay every year. This is how it works. Upon approval of a sickness or injury benefit claim by SSD, 80% of the employee's weekly insurable earnings is paid as a Social Security benefit, and the difference in the employee's salary is paid by the employer. This is to ensure that the employee does not suffer any loss of wages when ill. After 16 days, compensation for sick leave is paid as a Social Security benefit only. Some conditions apply. This message is brought to you by the Social Security Board and the Labor Department. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
It's almost time when we change the drums for the Christmas bells. And you know that when Christmas season starts, we celebrate big at Channel 5. How big? It's our 30th anniversary. That's right, the Big 3-0. And this year's Gimme 5 will be packed with fun, entertainment, and big giveaways. The show starts on December 6th and runs through December 10th, starting at 7:30 p.m. nightly. Coupons are now available for 25 cents each on our Channel 5 website and at our studios on Coney Drive. Fill out your coupons and bring them into our compound. And remember, starting December 6th, when the phone rings, don't say hello, say, "Gimme 5."
Good morning, miss. How are you?
Morning. I don't really gonna try catch my bus, but this don't look like my bus at all.
This is the new Floralia bus where they run in Belize. We the right here to make your journey a good experience.
Well, I ready for this experience, yeah. Morning, driver. In I look good to bed. I feel like I'm in the States. Hi. Hello. Woo. Ah. Yeah, too. Ah, morning. Oh, what is it? Bathroom too? USB charging port. The phone don't charge, but I will still use it. Me and this thing here nice. No used to that thing here. Foot rest, arm rest. What is one here for? What a thing! The chair could go back with too. Ooh, you know what? Floralia could always get my money. I'm gonna ride this now for life. Driver, let's go!
For more information on our bus schedule and prices, please visit our Facebook or Instagram page. Floralia, make your journey an experience.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Thursday, December 2nd. I am Sabrina Daly. Kareem Michael has been named the new governor of the Central Bank of Belize. Michael has been acting as governor ever since the former governor, Gustavo Manuel Vasquez, resigned suddenly in August after only 19 weeks in that capacity. Today, Prime Minister John Briceño told the media that the Board of Governors of the bank recommended that Michael be appointed, and he agreed.
We've been in discussions with Mr. Kareem Michaels. We have looked high and low in trying to find who would be the most appropriate person to lead the central bank. We've looked even in the region. The cost is way too high. We would not be able to afford it. We've looked in Belize. Some of the people we're looking were already retired and probably would not be adequate to come in. So we felt that Mr. Michaels, who has been a career central banker, a member of the central bank, has the experience. He knows the bank very well. He also understands government policy and understands the importance of the central bank working in tandem with the central government, and believes that the best way to move the country forward is for the central bank and the government working at the same time, moving in the same direction. He is accepted. I mean, he's a young man, but brilliant, very intelligent, hardworking. And I know some of my colleagues have concerns because they think that he comes from a UDP family. But unfortunately, but so what? I mean, I think we need to look at his qualifications, and two, his sincerity, and three, his wanting to work at the central bank, but at the same time wanting to cooperate and work in tandem with the government. From all that I have seen, he meets all of those qualifications.
Michael has served at the central bank as deputy governor and in research, financial supervision, and compliance departments of the bank. Today, the Prime Minister witnessed the signing of a memorandum of understanding in San Carlos Village, Orange Walk. News 5 took the opportunity to ask him about the frequency at which drug planes are being landed in Belize and how soon we can expect to acquire the Raider that his party pledged to acquire, even before they were elected as the government.
This is nothing new. That has been happening for some time. But in this instance, now here we have a government that has been busting them more often than we are breaking up or catching more than what leaves Belize, and that is what is important. So we are doing our part. We are looking very closely at the police department and making to be able to make some drastic or some radical changes to the police department so that it could meet the needs that we have to be able to protect our country and to defend and to protect our citizens. As to the radar, we have been in discussions. Minister Andre Perez can tell you even more, but we have been working through COSESNA, and we are in the process of getting one from COSESNA, but now he informed me this week now that the Americans are prepared to provide a radar that will have a long reach. It will be able to cover pretty much all of our exclusive economic zone and to be able to go far into out of the airspace of other countries near us, so that from far we'll be able to track these planes that are coming and to be able to predict where they are, where they're going, the place where they're most likely they're going to land. But it also requires more than just that, because in some instances these plane landings are in far to reach places, difficult to get there, so that by the time the police gets there, they have been gone. So we need to do a number of things. One is to be able to see, increase our intelligence, and so that whenever we see an area that's been prepared as a potential landing site, to go and destroy it. So the BDF has been doing a number of that, along with the help of the police. But also, we also need air cover, whereby, if we could, like what they're starting to do in the other countries, that then you could deploy a plane that can follow these drug planes when they're trying to come into our airspace.
The Prime Minister says the fight against drug lords will be a continuous one because they have already set up a network that we now have to break up.
It's a matter now of following, as you say, following the money to where it ends, to where the drugs ends, and go after the people, whosoever is involved. And certainly now with the police department, we have to take a hard look as to what is happening there and see what changes we can make. Whatever changes it needs to be done, we will make it, because we have to do everything that we possibly can to be able to stop, the landing of planes in this country. One of the things that keep me up at night is the issue of the drug lords coming and taking over Belize, because it could happen with the amount of money that they have. Look at what has happened to Mexico, that over the years the government allowed them to put a solid hold or grab into certain areas of the country, and for the past decade they've been fighting, with big guns and everything, between the drug lords and the Mexican army, and we don't want to get to that point, because then we do not have the resources that the government of Mexico have. So we need to stop it. We need to nip it at the bud.
Coming up, who is at the helm? Who is at the wheel in the Ministry of Health? Some surprising answers when we come back.
So I'm gonna wonder if by chance I could get your number. Digit. Nice.
Of course. You have digital, right?
Yeah. Of course.
The truth is, your credit lasts way longer with Digi. Like if you top up with like $30, that could last you 90 days. With the other guys, that must save 60. Then with the other guys, you have to use all of your good prime credit before you even touch your bonus credit. But with Digi, you could use your bonus credit before you even touch your prime credit. Like, what are the point to have free credit if you can't use it how you want? So, what are your number?
Just give me one moment.
The truth is, only Digi offers nationwide LTE coverage, fastest mobile data speeds, and the best call quality.
Morning, B.
Ready for full laybacks?
Yes, man. Just grab the rope and I'll put on the camera. My name is Josh Marin. I'm a commercial fisherman out of San Pedro, and I've been fishing my whole life. We've been noticing that each and every time we go out, we have to find further grounds. So when I heard about the program, I found it as a very good business opportunity. Other fishermen, when they go out, they tend to bring in everything and anything, and that's what me and my crew don't do. We practice responsible fishing.
Just show me how the app works, G.
Easy thing, bro. All we gotta do is we're gonna put in how much fish we catch right here. Today we get 15 pounds of champagne and 30 pounds of queens. We have punched that in, and that's all. Oh, one more thing.
The COVID vaccines that we have available are very effective and safe. And it is very important for elderly persons and frontline health workers and other frontline workers to get it, because these vaccines protect you from becoming ill if you get COVID.
As COVID-19 vaccines are approved for use in the general population, monitoring for safety continues. Each COVID-19 vaccine goes through the same clinical trials and rigorous study as with all other vaccines, with the focus on safety and efficacy.
Nothing goes into the nucleus, nothing affects the genetic code of the human. It is a very safe vaccine. This is a vaccine that we all need to take because it will keep us safe.
Vaccines bring us closer.
Today, News 5 caught up with Minister of Health and Wellness Michelle Shabat at a meeting on early childhood development in San Ignacio. Among the first questions asked was what happened with now former CEO Dr. Daisy Mendez, who parted ways with the ministry after only 1 year. Minister Shabat broke his silence today on the matter, saying that there was a difference in the vision of the ministry.
Dwayne, what can I tell you? I mean, we've been working for a year and so on. I have certain goals for the ministry. For me, it is essential for us to be able to provide the best possible health care to this country. That is my singular goal. I respect Dr. Mendez and I wish her well on wherever she may go. And I am sure that she's going to be an asset to whichever department or institution she goes.
Sir, it was a difference in philosophy? That was the problem?
You could say that.
Was it that the CEO decided that, oh, you know what, I want to part ways, or was it the ministry that said, all right, I think your time with us has come to an end?
No, I think there was a recognition on both sides that perhaps, we needed to move forward.
Sir, I'm sure you saw the news. The PSU had claimed that basically you were squeezing her. She, as the chief executive officer, had certain roles and she wasn't allowed to do her job. Is that the case?
I don't think that is an accurate representation, Dwayne. I was scolded by the PSU because I had asked that certain expenditures be on a certain level, that it be brought to my attention before, and I recognize that I may not have had the authority under law to do that, which I recognize, but it is all part of the process. It is all part of the process. It was not intended to stem her power in any way. It was really to have a bit of oversight.
Okay, so now who replaces Dr. Mendes?
I will leave that for the Honorable Prime Minister to indicate. That is his prerogative, and so I think in due course he will be announcing.
With the passage of the public health reform legislation, the position of Director of Health Services within the Ministry of Health and Wellness, previously held by Dr. Marvin Manzanero, was abolished. But there is still a Deputy DHS in the form of Dr. Francis Mori. The legislation also allowed for the creation of 2 other posts at the director level for which candidates have not been selected as yet. So without a CEO and 2 key positions vacant, who is running the ship? That's what News 5 asked Health Minister Michelle Shabat.
2 new positions were created. I believe that there are advertisements for the post, and those advertisements should last, I believe, until the 15th of December. Thereafter, the Ministry of the Public Service will be reviewing the candidates, and they will be making a decision.
So there is a deputy DHS if the DHS position is not there?
Dr. Mori is holding the top position at this time, and so I think for all intents and purposes, he's the acting.
Some would say that that means the ministry is operating without some key people, key positions being held.
No, until a formal CEO is announced. The cabinet secretary is acting as the CEO for the ministry, and in terms of the medical side, we have Dr. Mori who is performing the duties. So we're covered.
And by this evening, Prime Minister John Briceño told News 5's Marian Ali that Dr. Lesbia Guerra is being considered to replace Dr. Daisy Mendez as the Chief Executive Officer in the Ministry of Health and Wellness. If the name sounds familiar, that is because Dr. Guerra is the former CEO in the Ministry of Natural Resources, whose one-year contract was not renewed in early November. Here's how PM Briceño confirmed that Dr. Guerra is marked for the post.
We have been discussing that, and Minister Shabat has met with Dr. Lesbia Guerra, who has expressed interest in working in that ministry. Dr. Lesbia Guerra have extensive experience. She worked for years in the Ministry of Health and has the managerial skill, ability, and experience to be able to run that ministry. So from the looks of it, it seems that she will be taking over very shortly, and I'm very excited to welcoming her to the team of CEOs. At Lance, she was the one that asked for a one-year contract. In this instance, I'm hoping that it will be more than 1 year because we need continuity in that ministry. The Ministry of Health continues to be one of the most important ministries right now, especially because, not only because of trying to keep the health of our people, but also because of the pandemic that we continue to face in Belize.
With the COVID-19 positivity rate below 10, the Ministry of Health and Wellness is optimistic that the downward trend will see the country containing the spread of the virus. But it will only be possible if residents adhere to public health measures in place. Today, Minister Shabat broke down the vaccination figures, telling News 5's Dwayne Moody that even though the country is at 63% fully vaccinated, the number needs to be higher.
We have now had 68% of our population who are 12 years and older with a first dose, and we have 63% of our population 12 years and above who are fully vaccinated. This is a great accomplishment, but it still underscores the need to do more. We need to encourage everybody who is not yet vaccinated to please come out and get vaccinated. Ideally, we want to be 5% or below, at least for 2 weeks. And what the science shows us is that once we're at that level over a 2-week period, it means that the virus is under control. I am really pleased to tell you all, and as you can see from the data, the numbers have been rarely below the 10% positivity rate. So we're going in the right direction, but it still means that we have to keep our guard up. We have to observe the public health measures, and we need to get vaccinated.
The Omicron virus, the latest strain of COVID-19, has been detected in the United States. Scientists from South Africa, where it was first identified, say that Omicron is more transmissible and that so far the symptoms have been mild. But it is the stresses to the healthcare system that is of great concern to medical professionals. Today, News 5 caught up with Minister of Health and Wellness Michelle Shabat, who was asked about the game plan when Omicron inevitably finds its way to Belize.
We do not have any travel bans that are going to be imposed at this time. However, we do have increased surveillance at our land borders and across the country. We are on high alert for this variant. As we keep on saying, and as we've been saying, the vaccine is the safest way. We continue to encourage all Belizeans 12 years and above to please come out and get vaccinated. This is a new variant. We still don't know how it will act. We know that it spreads very rapidly. We don't know yet the severity of it. And so this is all new information coming to us. But we want to encourage everybody to come out and please get vaccinated. It is your best defense against this variant.
Last night, we told you about Cabinet's recommendation to extend the expiring commercial agreement between the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association, BSCFA, and Belize Sugar Industry Limited, BSI-ASR, for a period of 6 months. The harvest season is set to begin in a couple weeks, and with the expiration of the agreement in January of 2022, negotiations for a revised agreement are at an impasse. Today, the press got an opportunity to ask PM Briceño for further details on Cabinet's recommendations.
I believe the sugar industry is one of the most important industries in the country, and especially for us in the north. It's live or die situation when it comes to the sugar industry. If the sugar industry were to crash in the north, many of us, it's going to be catastrophic, worse than a hurricane. The BSCFA has been, these acronyms, the BSCFA have been under long negotiations with BSI, and it seems that they are at an impasse. And the sugar mill or the crop supposed to be starting sometime this month in December. We have record amount of cane on the ground. We have over 1.3 million tons of cane. And so we cannot afford 1 day of delay in opening up the factory and to start the SAFRA, as we would say. Taking that in mind and seeing that there is an impasse between the two parties, the government decided that we want to meet with both parties, that we are prepared to be the honest brokers between the cane farmers and the factory, BSI, ASR, and to see how best we can come to an agreement. I know that the Cane Farmers Association, they're proposing a new payment scheme, and BSI probably saying, but they don't want to change that scheme. So, as honest brokers, we're not here to tell them which one's supposed to work. What we need to do that. The sugar industry is a regulated industry, and because it's a regulated industry, then we believe that now we have to step in to work with both parties to see how we can have an agreement that is going to benefit everyone, that's going to benefit the farmers and also benefit BSI. What we are saying is that there is an agreement that's coming to an end in January. So what we're telling both parties, let's take this present agreement, just roll it over for the next 6 months. We hope that, I wish it could be 1 month. It could be 2 months, it could be, but we don't want it to be, the negotiations to go indefinitely. So we're saying, let's put a cutoff point. Let's give enough time to both sides to be able to sit down and truly talk to one another.
After the break, schools to reopen in January. Well, maybe. Details when we come back. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
hot right now, dog.
Tell her, you got it, though.
Boy, watch the time. Close to curfew. I seriously tired of live like this, dog.
Yeah, I feel it, bro. But you still don't get back set, true?
Boy, I just no trust. I guess I'll get wrong to that.
You need to get on that. We know how this thing spread, and we can stop it. Only some people say the play last. No offense.
But I just see a lot of weird stuff online.
Yeah, but bro, the evidence clear. Vaccine work, and people at hospital, almost all, not vaccinated.
Yeah.
So if you're really tired of live like this, then get vax, bro. Simple.
For real. Yeah, but I will have close to curfew and I don't want to catch on charge, so later man.
Vaccines save lives and greatly reduce the risk of transmission, hospitalization, and death. Get vaccinated and let's get back to normal.
We have been a partner with Smart for over 10 plus years. We have a full Smart plan we use as our major driver for our business. We have a service that rolls over in that if you call one and it is busy, it rolls over to the next line. So once you call us, you can get us at any time. Before we got this Smart service, we were paying upwards of nearly $2,000 in phone bills. Since we've had our Smart service, we pay an average of about $600. So we've had tremendous saving, more than 50%. For the businesses, if you want to save money, switch to Smart because it is far more cost effective and the service is excellent.
Smart continues to be innovative in bringing new technology and meaningful savings during these challenging times to businesses across Belize. Sign up for our VoIP technology or broadband packages and save more.
Hello, welcome to Samsung's awesome experience right here in Belize. Come check it out. Not sure which Samsung Galaxy A series is right for you? Touch, play, and learn about your device before you buy. Once you've purchased your device, you can now benefit from the full Samsung service experience. Your phone is covered by a 1-year local warranty. This includes manufacturer defects and software and hardware issues caused by the manufacturer. Enjoy your phone with peace of mind knowing that your Galaxy is protected. And when your warranty expires, you can still bring it to our certified Samsung Repair Center. Our technicians will diagnose and repair your device with Samsung original parts and machinery. Enjoy the Samsung experience when you shop at any of our authorized partners countrywide, including Cellular World, Digi, Odette's Home Center, The Barry, Tropigas, and Quartz. Join the Samsung experience in Belize today.
On Wednesday, we aired the viral video of a teacher from the San Pedro High School verbally abusing her students during a virtual class session. The female teacher used words like stupid and idiot to refer to the students who had not responded to a question on gravitational pull. As we said, the video went viral and there was quick reaction from the leadership of the school, as well as the Ministry of Education. Today, News 5 caught up with Education CEO Diane Mejia, who says that the ministry remains concerned.
Come from a position of concern because this is indicative of a lot that's happening. You know, there would really be so much to unpack in those few seconds of that video. What we have done is we've taken the position that we're concerned by what has happened there, because obviously no child, no children, no students should be subject to any form of abuse, whether it's verbal or any other form of abuse. That's not something that we are supportive of in any way. It's not something we condone. We do recognize, though, that this may also be the impact of life in a pandemic, the frustrations of teaching in these situations. We understand that diminished mental health, increased frustration, levels of fatigue are things that are plaguing everyone. Teachers, parents, everyone feels these things. And so actually what we're doing is we're using this as the reminder and the impetus for us. It's really timely. We're so grateful that we also have a mental health video series ready for release for teachers, and we are going to be releasing this shortly. And it works because we feel that this is a time for us to remind teachers as they move into the Christmas holidays that it's 3 R's. You have reading, writing, and arithmetic. Usually you think of for education. Yeah. What we're saying for the teachers is rest, recharge, renew. And so this mental health series is going to be our chance, and you're the first person I'm telling about this, all right? But this is going to be our attempt to begin to support the teachers in mental health.
For almost 2 years, children have not been engaged in a regular class setting as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to throw a wrench into any semblance of normalcy. Earlier this year, the Ministry of Education had proposed for a phased approach to return to classrooms. But that was once again postponed due to increasing positivity rates. But with vaccination numbers up and schools ready for reopening, Education CEO Diane Mahia told News 5 today that come January, schools will officially reopen with a hybrid form of learning.
Up until the end of November, what we saw was that we had about 85 schools across the country who had already returned to hybrid. We had 170 who have already been approved for hybrid. So the numbers are creeping up. We are doing our work on the ground to approve, to make sure that the schools have the necessary things in place. And some of the schools who are applying now are already applying for January because that works for them, which is what we wanted. So come January, the goal is for us to be able to have the hybrid approach across the country for all the levels. So that means students will not be 100% capacity classrooms 100% of the days. It's going to be staggered schedules, shifted. There will still be a combination of distance learning, whether it's paper or it's online. But we have to begin to bring our students back.
This morning, a high-level meeting including ministers and other government officials from the Ministries of Education, Health and Human and Economic Development gathered at the San Ignacio Hotel, where a technical report on early childhood development was officially signed and handed over to the government. With partnership from UNICEF, the document focused on reimagining early childhood development by investing in the early years. While all stakeholders present recommitted to supporting children and their rights, it honed in on the principle that it takes a village to raise a child.
Early childhood is really considered from birth to 8 years old, but what we're learning here, what we are talking about, is the fact that children brain development actually peaks like at 2 years old. So we need to make every opportunity that we can to engage with our children, stimulate our children. There are things that we can do at home as parents, as caregivers, loving a child, talking to a child, reading to a child, sharing with a child. These are things that really help our children, and we see that contributing to early childhood development is something that has real positive and lasting impact on their life as a whole.
A very important event for early childhood development. We know that 0 to 5 years are critical years for a child. And I think what was highlighted in this conference today is the need for all of the line ministries, Ministry of Economic Development, Ministry of Human Development, the Health Ministry, Ministry of Education, to come together to make sure that we provide our children with the best possibilities to grow.
Sagicor Insurance has adopted 8 schools from across the Caribbean as part of its Adopt a School initiative. In Belize, St. John's Anglican Primary School was selected for developmental and educational support. The program will run for a period of 1 year. Thereafter, a second set of schools will be nominated and undergo the selection process. Sagicor held a virtual launch of the initiative this morning.
There are 4 pillars. So in each of the areas, or whatever work that we're going to be doing rather, will fall under one or more of these pillars. And the 4 pillars are: we have to impact the school's physical environment, we have to impact the health of the students, we also impact developmental and educational programs as well, and then finally safety.
Today is a great day here for us at St. John's Anglican. It is my honor to express our gratitude to Sagicor for selected St. John's Anglican Primary School to be the recipient of this timely but very needed assistance.
The total value, cash value of the program is over $50,000 US dollars across the region. But bear in mind, as I said, that is the cash component. There is also what we'll be doing to support the health initiative with our students. There are other things. For example, all of our schools have already received pencils and bookcases. Those were already delivered, Keisha, right? So there are a number of things we plan to do. Yes. Programs for Christmas with our children. Next year for, I think in May, we plan to have a number of initiatives in our school. Bearing in mind, as I said, it's about not just cash, but spend. Well, cash is important, and we will be spending over $50,000. It's about spending time shaping lives.
A total of 11 schools were nominated in Belize. The government of Belize today signed a memorandum of understanding with the New River Farmers Society Limited of San Carlos Village, Orange Walk, for a matching grants initiative under the Resilient Rural Belize program. Through the program, farmers of the village and surrounding communities will be able to not only grow their vegetables to sell to market vendors, but to learn how to minimize climatic and economic events. Under the program, farmers invest their money to upgrade their farms, and the government matches it to help them.
The Resilient Rural Belize program is a program where we got funding, both loan, grant funding, and also portion from the farmers, whereby we can be able to assist our rural areas, especially with agriculture, and also for them to be able to prepare for climate change, so that the agriculture, what they call resilient agriculture, making the changes to prepare for climate change. For instance, like in some instances, greenhouses, other instances, making sure that they have enough water or irrigation systems. We have a cooperative here, it is the New River cooperative, that a group of farmers have come together to pool their resources to be able to produce, to add better products, to produce more, to be able to, in effect, make more money. They believe that as under a cooperative. And they have been very successful so far. We need to buy their products, and not only buy them, but as what Minister Mai pointed out, to assist to be able to find new markets outside of Belize, for instance, at this moment, see if we can work out a transport system to get our products from Belize to El Salvador within 10 hours.
The days when they used to give out a grant and there was no contribution, one of those grants, when the money done, the program done, everything is done. It never functions. But when the farmers have a stake in it, they have to work to keep it up. And that's the whole concept behind the matching grant fund. Now the problem we have is that while we are good producers, we don't have storage facilities. Post-harvest becomes a problem. So this project will seek to address that specific problem of the inability for the farmers to store their product.
The co-op's plan is to increase its onion production to the point where it can supply 15% of the local market demands and its carrot supply to over 9%. Minister Mai said that already this year, carrot farmers have been able to produce significantly more carrots than last year. As we head into the Christmas season, one of the concerns that shoppers have raised is the issue of price gouging. This is a problem that is separate from the increase in shipping prices that have caused cost of living to shoot sky high. But Minister Abelardo Mai, who holds the portfolio for food security, told the media today that his ministry is taking action.
When we went out, we had people out in the stores, and we saw that indeed there is gouging, but you have to understand something. There's what you call price control goods and price regulated goods. Price control, the government puts a price on your product. Rice, for example, sugar, for example, those are price control goods. Then there's price regulated goods, where the government puts a percentage on your markups. Percentage at wholesale and a percentage at retail. Now, and they're not a huge list for food. Minister Koi is working on a paper right now, along with us, Ministry of Agriculture prepared for supply control. But both of us are going to submit cabinet papers on the same matter. So we said we hold it off, let us synergize and come up with one good position. But we had been advocating that we need to change the law to say that if you are caught gouging, you will not be taken to court. You will be given a ticket system. Because if you take somebody to court, it will take you 2 years. Right? And by then, they don't gouge half, I believe. So we were seeking to change the law to give a ticket. So you go pay a ticket, close the store. When you return, then you show me your receipt, then you go open the store.
Mr. Mai says that merchants who do not put the prices of their goods will also be targeted. He said they are looking into the likelihood of merchants offering bribes to turn their heads the other way. Just ahead, one more reason for Belizeans to want the Mexican border to reopen. Direct flights to Miami from Chetumal. But first, here is a weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
With RF&G Insurance, you can request a quote, renew a policy, purchase a policy, and even file a claim effortlessly with WhatsApp. Here's how. WhatsApp the words "Get Started" to 670-8700. We will prompt you to select the service that you are interested in. Select the service and answer a few simple questions. An RF&G representative will process your request and follow up with you when your transaction is completed. It's that easy. Skip lines and WhatsApp us. Remember, it pays to get it right with RF&G Insurance, a road group company.
Improving lives, delivering quality. Water for you and me in Belize. BWS, we make it happen.
For the immediate future, our entire country's focus is to ensure that each of us take adequate measures to mitigate against the COVID-19 pandemic. We all need to ensure frequent hand washing or sanitizing, regular disinfection of surfaces, constant social distancing, and a sufficient supply of sanitizing and cleansing material. At this critical time, a reliable supply of clean potable water is of utmost importance to ensure our health and peace of mind. Water is therefore a vital necessity to help us remain free from illness and ultimately to help Belize's economic recovery. Help us to help you by paying your water bill. Our return to a healthy and vibrant economy depends on you.
Belize Water Services, delivering water and more.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Alert! Alert! It's a deal alert! It's a Benny's deal alert!
At Bennett's, you will find deal alerts on a wide selection of paints, including BH paints and texture light paints. Deal alert markdowns will also be applied to our complete selection of tiles, lights and fans, appliances, and much, much more. And remember, deal alert purchases will get double tickets to take part in the grand draw on December 23rd to win $10,000. For more details, visit bennis.bz. Bennis, quality and savings.
With eCash, bill payment is extremely convenient, and all utility companies accept eCash payments. What's even better? You get to split bills with your roommates, siblings, or whoever you desire. Simply open your eCash app, go to Bill Pay, tap the respective utility company, enter the information, and pay the bill. Then tap the transaction made. Tap Split the bill. Select Evenly. Send the request to who you are splitting the bill with and get notified when they pay. Talk about making life easy and avoiding confusion. You can split the bill for restaurants, grocery stores, and for any eCash payment you make. To find your next yummy meal, hair treatment, or chill spot, simply open the app and utilize the geolocation service to see nearby businesses that accept eCash. Geolocation and bill payment make life a whole lot easier.
Bringing people together has always been SMART's mission and passion. That is why we are proud to have built a locally independent quality network from the ground up that spans the country with over 100 sites. We continue to add more affordable mobile data packages, broadband speeds, and voice services to meet your personal and business needs. SMART has set the standard of true competition with the most competitive prices on all services offered. We invite and welcome you to join the SMART family, where the value for your dollar matters. SMART will continue bringing new technologies, more affordable prices, network expansions, and people together. SMART, bringing people together.
The alcalde of Big Falls Village in the Toledo district is tonight questioning why the government has not responded to a letter they sent requesting the community be removed from Maya land rights claim. The letter, dated October 22, 2021, was addressed to the general office in Belmopan and has the signature of the village alcalde and the village chairman. The leaders note that a survey they conducted determined that 65% of the voting population in the community disagrees with the Maya land tenure claim. Viewers may recall that leaders from Big Falls and 2 other communities in the Toledo district met a couple of months ago to discuss their proposed exit from the claim. Well, Big Falls alcalde Eulalio Choco told us over the phone that his community is questioning why the government has taken this long to respond to their formalized position on the issue.
No, not as yet. That's why I told my son to send it to the media, because then I expected a result, but so far everything is silent. I don't know why, but surely our representative down here got his letter as well. But with due respect, I would like the media to interview some government officials for us in this endeavor.
Yeah, and so you've received no information as to what the holdup is?
No, nothing as yet. Like I said, this is a joint effort along with the village chairman.
When was this survey conducted, and how did you go about doing it?
Well, we had meetings. I think it was 4 meetings. We couldn't gather up too much because of the protocols of the pandemic. So we had Southside Big Falls, the dump area, and north side Big Falls, and Tikiti village, Tikiti settlement, and then so we had meeting with them, and who was in favor at that time and present at the meeting, they signed up their name right there on the petition paper.
So how confident are you, Mr. Choco, that this petition and that this request truly represents the desires of the majority in Big Falls Village?
Well, because I'm confident of the names that we collected, that the people that sign up, and that these people don't want to live under the communal and penal. They want their land paper get fixed again, and like I said, continue to their dues to the government.
We reached out to Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Dolores Balderramos Garcia, for comment. She responded via text saying the ministry has taken note of a letter with similar content, but, and we quote, must continue consulting people as there are various opposing views, end quote. As you heard, Choco says villages of Big Falls are prepared to continue paying their taxes to the government as they have been doing for decades. According to Choco, residents are of the view that paying taxes will lead to increased infrastructural development in their community and access to finances from lenders. He contends that alcaldes under the Maya Leaders Alliance and the Toledo Alcalde Association are not taking the right message to their people. Here is how he puts it.
How much alcaldes do take the message for what they're hearing from this MLA or this group, to their village and get the consent from them that everybody is on board. And like I said, I have attended meetings with Mr. Greg Tuck, the commissioner now, and it was explained to them in their own language, the Texi language, the Texi Maya. And surprisingly, that these people do not understand their own dialecto. I mean, I have to say dialecto because Texi Maya is not an official language. I know the Mopan Maya is an official language, but not Texi. But I'm saying that starting in Texi, explaining everything to them, and they still don't understand. So how can these people take the message, the right message to their people? And there where I have, I'm not happy with that, because these alcaldes take the wrong message to their people. Now, in my case, I will not dictate to my people. I will not take them to the burying ground alive. No, not at all.
While Choco argues that having historic ties to the land through their forefathers does not give the Mayas the right to own the land, he asserts that the land is the sole property of the state. Now, this position is in stark contrast to fundamental beliefs of the Maya land rights movement. In fact, it flies in the face of one of the key principles of the movement.
I would want to tell you that one ethnic group cannot hold the government hostage of not collecting the revenue that is falling down there in Toledo. Because if you do the math, there's millions of dollars to be collected there in the past 6 years since the ruling was handed out. And I'm surprised that the government doesn't put a heavy fist on this one individual. Not because we are individuals, people, Mr. Paul. I want to be fair. I am a 60 man, and I suppose to call myself indigenous people, indigenous person. But yes, we have a prehistoric right by our forefathers roaming this territory long before whoever came, the British, the Spanish, or whoever came here. But as a Maya and my people have roamed this place, does not give us the right to own the land freely. I believe that the state is the sole and the owner of this land, which is called belief. I will respect the Constitution and do the right thing and pay what we need to pay to the government so that everything will run freely and the way it should go.
I would imagine because of your position, you're not the most popular person with the association and the alliance.
Yeah, well, I do not associate myself with the alliance nor the Alcal Association. You know, Paul, I don't know if I'm a rogue alcalde or what to call it.
In cabinet news, schools will be allowed to reopen for some level of in-person learning in January. But they must apply for green light status from the Ministry of Education first. With the start of the 2021 tourism season, Cabinet gave the approval for the Ministry of Blue Economy and Civil Aviation to employ 8 new persons to begin training as air traffic controllers. A motion will be introduced at Friday's sitting of the House of Representatives for a $2.5 million loan from the Caribbean Development Bank to assist government with emergency restoration of critical infrastructure. Cabinet welcomed the report on Belize's participation at the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, 26th Conference of Parties that was held in Glasgow, Scotland. In COVID news, there will be free testing for all students returning home during the month of December through the land borders only. With the discovery of the new COVID-19 variant, Omicron, Cabinet says new regulations will be implemented for persons from countries where this new variant has been detected who want to enter Belize. These will be part of an updated health regulations, which will be decided later this week. Viewers should note this statement was issued before the first Omicron case was detected in the U.S. in San Francisco. The United States is where the vast majority of our arrivals originate. Finally, as the holiday season draws near, Cabinet continues to encourage those not yet vaccinated to do so and reminds Belizeans who have been fully vaccinated for more than 5 months that booster shots are now available. The public is reminded to maintain physical distance, wash hands regularly, and wear a mask or face covering in public. There is some exciting news out of Chetumal, especially for those living in the northern half of the country. American Airlines is now flying from that border town to Miami. The first flight landed in Chetumal today. The new route gives Belizeans another travel option, at least when the northern border reopens. At the moment, the round-trip flights from Chetumal to Miami are as low as $280, a considerable savings from the same airfare from the PGIA. The flights depart twice a week Belize may also see an increase in tourists entering Belize through the northern borders with this new international access. Vice President of American's Miami Hub Operations told international media today that, quote, "This winter, we've doubled down on our commitment to Miami, hiring more than 1,500 new team members and adding new destination, more frequencies to existing markets, and more wide-body flying," end quote. After the break, tonight on COVID Chronicles, the impact of the pandemic on the Chinese running businesses and the high vaccination rate in that community. Stay with us.
What is the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine? The Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is an RNA vaccine that triggers our immune system to develop antibodies against the SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19. It helps to reduce hospitalization, severity of the disease, and death. What is the Pfizer vaccine made of, and is it safe? The Pfizer vaccine is made up of mRNA messenger ribonucleic acid, which are molecules that carry the genetic information needed to make proteins, lipid, salts, and sugar. It is safe for persons 12 years and older and does not contain the COVID-19 virus, hence cannot cause infection. Tests have shown that the vaccine is effective against current virus variants. Who should take the Pfizer vaccine? The Pfizer vaccine should be taken by persons 12 years of age and older who do not have severe allergic reaction after a previous dose of vaccine or have not had severe allergic reaction to any ingredient of this vaccine. 2 doses of the vaccine are required 3 weeks apart. If you are between the ages of 12 and 17 years, you are required to present a signed consent form before you are vaccinated. What are the side effects of the Pfizer vaccine? Some common side effects of the Pfizer vaccine are headache, fatigue, muscle pain, fever, chills, and swelling at the injection site. If side effects persist, contact your doctor as soon as possible. Does the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine prevent infection and transmission? No, vaccination alone does not prevent infection and transmission. We are still required to continue to wear masks properly, physically distance, wash and sanitize hands often, practice proper coughing and sneezing hygiene, and avoid crowds.
Es un hecho. Únicamente con Smart obtienes todo realmente ilimitado. Solo con Smart obtienes datos ilimitados en cualquier momento. Mientras que con el otro proveedor solo son datos dobles los fines de semana. Con datos ilimitados todos los días no hay necesidad de esperar, así que es un hecho que nuestros planes ilimitados superan a la competencia. Por lo tanto, no permita que le digan cómo y cuándo usar sus datos y obtenga llamadas, mensajes de texto y datos ilimitados. Vive la verdadera experiencia de planes ilimitados con Smart. Es un hecho. Haga el cambio y viva Smart.
This holiday season, give your home the ultimate digital experience with NextGen. New and existing customers can take advantage of our holiday promotion on any of our affordable service plans. Sign up or bundle cable TV and internet and receive free service installation or reconnection and 1 month free of any acquired service. Don't forget, HBO Max is now available to NextGen bundled customers with 40 megabytes internet or higher. Get a chance to enter our grand holiday raffle when you update your account at any of our branch locations. Our raffle will be drawn live on our Facebook page on December 24th. For more information, contact us at 0800 222 5388 or message us on Facebook or WhatsApp at 662-6365. NextGen, the preferred service provider for the ultimate digital experience. Easier ways to connect, create, and share.
Tonight on COVID Chronicles, we focus on the Chinese community and how many businesses have either been forced to adapt to new measures in order to stay afloat or shuttered under the weight of the pandemic. We speak with popular restaurateur Lee Mark Chang and Chinese Association President Johnson Wu for a perspective on business, as well as the vaccination campaign. News 5's Isani Catano reports.
COVID-19 has been a sink-or-swim experience for many in the private sector, including those in the Chinese community. For some, the pandemic has forced innovation. For others, it has forced them to shutter their businesses. Chonsan Palace has been a staple in the restaurant industry. With the advent of the widespread virus in 2020, proprietor Lee Mark Chang has had to think outside of the proverbial box to arrive at new ways to serve his loyal customers. The result of those brainstorming sessions is an app that can be used to place an order and have it delivered anywhere in Belize City.
It's slow, but coming along, and we get about 30, 40 orders a day, but that's 30, 40 less phone calls, and the customers are able to get through much easier. The app also works much faster in terms of the time, rather than you repeating your address every time, your phone number, where sometimes we get it wrong, and the order. So you just have to download the app, do a one-time application, fill in your email address, your phone number, and then after that you're good to go. And once you use the app properly, ordering is a breeze.
On the other side of town, Corner Cafe has been gutted. What was once a buzzing restaurant and bar at the foot of the Pawnyard Bridge is now just a shell of its former self. Gone are the days and nights that I spent here socializing with friends and family. Strict COVID protocols and myriad statutory instruments have left the owners of this establishment with no other choice.
The widespread of this COVID virus, and especially with this 6 feet distance, and with restaurant, I believe, not just Corner Cafe, I believe our restaurant in Belize suffering with that. So, Corner Cafe is about to close, shut down, and well, we have to move on.
And that's what many business owners have had to do. Johnston O is not only one of them, he is also the president of the Belize Chinese Association. While the pandemic has adversely affected those in food and hospitality, it has similarly wreaked havoc in retail. According to O, the local Chinese community is being unfairly accused of price gouging, when in reality, there is a supply chain crisis that many are not taking into consideration.
Business-wise, worldwide, the pricing is going up like crazy, and everybody feel the pinch of it. But locally, with the Belize market, many people didn't have the sense or don't understand the market, especially with the prices. And as a result, the Chinese community, especially those in business, and get the most blame about price gouging. And people forget that majority of the Chinese is a retailer, and we are not the major importers, especially in groceries.
Basic food and household items that were once reasonably priced have gone up considerably. But grocers aren't alone. Those in the restaurant business have also been struggling, not only with shortage of supplies, but also with the ever-changing curfew regulations.
As we all know, it's been 1 year and 10 months. I think mostly the ones affected is like the food industry, the fast food, the restaurants. Those are mostly impacted. Of course, the shorter closing times, the mad rush after people get off work between the 6 and 7, and you have to close before 7, so you could make sure your staff get home before 8. So it has been some difficult challenges. At least for me, it has been very difficult. One of the main things that I have had to do in the last year and 10 months is to adapt. We have our park and order service where customers don't need to come out of the car. You can pre-order for pickup, and then we come to your car and drop off your food for you, or you could walk up if you'd like, but our takeout is closed.
As far as the ongoing vaccine campaign, Chang says that many in the Chinese community are fully vaccinated, and their preference of serum is the one manufactured by Sinopharm.
I don't know of anyone from the Chinese community who is not vaccinated yet. one way or the other, they are vaccinated. And I believe when they had a vaccine drive for the community, because a lot of them favor the Chinese vaccine, the Sino, and so when that was made available, I think they had 2 full days where they were there and they filled up the lines. So I don't know of any Chinese that is not vaccinated.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isana Cayetano.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5police.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.